Hey, how's it going? In this video, it's kind of something I want to talk about for a long time. Similar to the last one, it's taken me just a little bit to kind of think about how I wanted to cover it. I think it's a little bit of a sensitive topic, just to me personally, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's just jump right into it. I think in the background I got TF2 gameplay, just some payload stuff, nothing too serious. But I do apologize. This might be a little bit more sad, I guess. But I'm gonna try to keep it up a little bit. I think in this video I wanted to talk about this cycle that I've found myself getting into over the past couple of years of just being sad. Oh, and more so sometimes depressed, because I think there is a difference, right? I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, so I don't take anything I say super seriously, but I think the difference to me is, when I'm sad, it is linked to an event happening in my life. An event will happen and it will kind of make me sad, and I can link it to that, like something's happening at work or something happening in my relationship, and it's hard. It's hard on my mental. That is being sad. For me, depression or being depressed is kind of these prolonged periods of time where I'll just be sad for weeks, usually, sometimes months, and sometimes years even. And it's really hard to deal with. Sometimes there will be something that'll happen in my life that will kind of be the catalyst and will kind of be the main event that is linking this, prolonged depression. But usually it's just kind of a general feeling where some days I will even be having a good day. I'll be hanging out with people, but I just can't feel happy. And it's such a strange feeling, especially the first couple times you feel it. All these good things can be happening. You can, for example, a while back when I graduated high school, I thought I was in a good mood. This was a big life event for me. I was doing pretty well in a lot of areas of my life, but I just wasn't able to be happy. And I still don't know why. Sometimes I get like that. There will be days where I'm just irritated, and I'll wake up irritated and I'll go to bed irritated, and it is this weird strain on my life, and it's hard to navigate, especially with other people in your life. Sometimes I'll be mean to people, I'll make offhanded comments, stuff like that, when I don't really mean to be, but just because I'm kind of dealing with these weird prolonged emotions. I guess kind of one of the main things that I want to talk about is usually this cycle is fed. This feeling of being depressed is fed by what I consume media-wise. A lot of the music I'll listen to will be sad. That's a pretty common one. I think a lot of people, when they're sad, listen to sad music. Not that bad of a thing. Sometimes you just got to let it out. It's almost like venting in a way. If I'm not able to vent to anybody, I'll listen to sad music, and it'll kind of help me express those emotions, like blasting music in the car or something like that. This cycle is kind of pushed forward mainly due to watching sad movies. I'll be watching sad TV shows. One of the main things I've found is on social media, a lot of algorithms like you being depressed. That's just a fact. Because you're constantly consuming this one specific type of content, and it makes you feel a certain way, and it really engages you. That's a real thing, and it's really dangerous. One place you'll see this pretty often is TikTok. TikTok's algorithm is like hyper sensitive, unlike YouTube or I guess even something like Twitter, but YouTube is really the only thing I can compare it to. TikTok's, you'll notice it. You'll watch one video, you'll like it, and then your feed will be that on repeat for, the next day or week even. And, if you're sad, you're consuming this kind of depressing, I don't know if I want to use the word melancholy, but that sort of content, and then you'll keep being fed it over and over and over again, keeping you in this loop. And it is really dangerous. And dangerous might be a strong word, but, I would find myself just consuming this content for weeks. The summer of 2022, I think, maybe it was 2021, I was going through a really hard time. And I found myself just watching these videos over and over again. The only music I was listening to was sad music. I'd watch these sad movies, some of my favorite movies, by the way, but sad movies that in the moment definitely didn't make me feel any better. And I just think, like, if I would have been aware of it and I would have had that kind of self-control, would I have been depressed for that long? What if I used that time to reflect on my emotions and be more productive with how I was feeling? I mentioned self-control because I think that's really important, because I think this feeling of depression is almost addictive. People get comfortable in this feeling of being sad when it is the only thing that you kind of feel, and you get almost, I don't know if I want to say numb, but numb to these emotions numb to any other emotion that is being depressed, it becomes a space that you're comfortable in, and you almost subconsciously want to stay in that space, even if the whole time you feel like shit. That's a very real feeling that I think a lot of people go through, and I think a lot of people don't know how to recognize when they're in that, and then also don't know how to kind of voice that experience or think about it and voice it in a productive way. I think that for me personally, I've kind of been going, maybe this is a little personal, a little more detailed than I want to be, but I've been in a very hard time in my life for a couple years now. And a lot of that time has been spent doing exactly what I'm talking about. It sounds weird, but part of making these videos is me trying to do that. I haven't been super deep for a reason, because I think a lot of these feelings are personal, and I don't want to give out too much information about certain things, right? Just because it's personal. Making these videos has made it easier for me to regulate kind of what I'm going through, and in a weird way, putting this stuff on the internet and going through the process of sitting down, taking notes, and just thinking about it constantly to make these videos has been a really good way for me to process a lot of this stuff. And again, I don't know, I kind of apologize for getting really personal, but I think it is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. I think the main point I kind of wanted to get to is the cycle that you can find yourself in, specifically through media and consuming this endless content that these websites and apps want you to fall into. And I know there is a part of me even that rejects that idea of social media being this evil thing. Because I think if you grew up like me on the internet, you constantly heard parents or people that are in positions of power in your life constantly, you're so sick of hearing it, the evils of social media and how it makes you feel self-conscious, how it makes you sad, trust me, I've heard a lot of it, and it gets annoying. And I'm saying this as someone who, I'll be honest, I'm very terminally online. That's the best way I can describe it. Most of my life revolves around things that I do online. So I get it, but I think there is a very real concern when it comes to how I've seen other people make videos on this where it's almost like these algorithms regulate your emotions more than you do. And I think that's dangerous. I think we need to kind of make a push towards allowing people to feel okay when you're uncomfortable in your emotions, because that is how you move forward. I mentioned this in my last video, you're gonna keep growing, you're gonna keep changing, and you're gonna keep feeling these uncomfortable feelings. And the quickest way you can learn to become more comfortable in that and become more happy in that is by learning how to regulate it, learning how to notice when you're in these feelings and in these emotions. I think that's a really important thing to talk about. But I don't know, that's kind of all I want to talk about. Sorry if this video was a little bit more depressing than usual, which I guess all my videos kind of are in a sense, but this one was definitely a little bit more direct, which I apologize for. Maybe when I wake up tomorrow and actually edit this audio, I'm going to regret doing this and delete it, but I don't know. If you did make it this far, leave a comment. I love reading that stuff, especially the ones that people actually put time into, and I can kind of comment on it, and we can have a little bit of a very short discussion, I guess. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hopefully the next one I can talk about something better. But yeah, see you guys.